So while I was an undergrad at Yale, I was a student research assistant for Nancy at the Beinecke. And I worked on a few different projects, on an archival connections project about female American poets whose work is recorded in the Beinecke's various collections. And then I also worked on the Roadshow exhibition now two and a half years ago, and I was in charge of the Elizabeth Bishop section. And it was really exciting, I remember, to work on questions of geography and place and space with Elizabeth Bishop, because place and geography rise to the surface in her letters, which the Beinecke has many letters of Bishop, and in her poems. There's a wonderful quotation from Elizabeth Bishop that in which she says, "I think geography comes first in my work and then animals, but I like people too. I've written a few poems about people." And you really feel, I remember feeling as I was going through her correspondences and through her books, including Questions of Travel, which is one of her collections of poems, how crucial geography is, and how she maps the world, how she maps her place in the world through language and through friendships and through travel. There were some amazing travel guides. I think she sent one to her friend Louise Crane, and other ones to Robert Fitzgerald, I believe. And they were these elaborate travel guides from Brazil, from Salvador, with hotel recommendations, restaurant recommendations, and with these really incredible descriptions of the color of the town, the tone of the town that she was visiting it. And then also so many of her poems are objects in the exhibition. I think the poem, The Map, is one of the final objects in the section that I curated. And it has a really beautiful line, which I wrote down before this because it's one of my favorite lines of all poetry. She wrote, "More delicate than the historians are the map maker's colors." And you really feel throughout her correspondences, her letters, and her poems, which make up the exhibition, her process of mapping through color in maybe a way. I'm now a PhD student in history, and maybe a way that a map maker can map the world that a historian sometimes misses. It was really strange to re-enter an exhibition about travel 2 years after working on the exhibition, a period where I did do a bunch of travel after graduating and moved to a new city and all of that stuff, but then was, of course, very still with the rest of the world for the past year and a half of the pandemic. And so I think it's a wonderful exhibition for us to be putting up now, as the world is opening a little bit, but also maybe nearing another period of stillness. Because we can sort of live, I think we all learned to live the past year and a half. We learned to travel through language or through art or through our apartments, through books, through movies, through different acts of production and creation that we could manage without leaving our apartments or cities. So in a way, it's a really wonderful exhibition for people to enter now. I think that the Elizabeth Bishop section is really filled with desire, her desire to sort of leave the limitations of where she is at all times. She sort of has this constant pulse that's drawing her to new places. And even if we can't quite yet follow our desires to new places, we can at least follow her desire through her language, through her words. And so in that way, we can travel through the exhibition, even if we're a little bit still.